followed by Sheila Bell.
Good afternoon, Council, Mayor.
Hello, Frankie.
I'm over here gonna just discuss on the 13A, on the $5 million. I want you to be aware of that I'm a gentleman that was on the system, and I worked my way to self-sufficiency. I have the home we spoke about, and we were here last time when it was asking for the 25 million. That was a no-go. Now they're asking for 5 million, testing the waters. But my main thing is this. You have to finish the project first and do it well and show that you could do that in order to receive more money to start another project. You can't just start something and then just skip it and go someplace else. You can't do that. You're leaving everything out in the open. You have homes that are not been finished, and you still got homes that haven't been sold. One of the things I learned when I was getting to self-sufficiency is to get into these homes, you have to qualify for credit. You have to get your own mortgage. I haven't heard them say anything about, well, you know what, we're going to have a workshop for those individuals who want to get in a home. Let me show them what they need to do. If they have bad credit, let me show them how to work towards that credit goal. Let me show them how to get their GED if they don't have it. They have programs for that, but yet I don't see them going out there and telling these individuals, let me help you get your GED. Let me help you get a job, so when they look at the mortgage company look at you, you have a job and we can help you get into your home. They just want to put people in housing. It doesn't work that way. That's how come we have so many homes that took forever to get people qualified, that they had to get realtors to do the job. And I don't think they are ready for any money until they show us that they could finish what they're doing in the Oaks, but the homes that haven't been finished yet. And that's the way I feel. And have these programs for people. You have a lot of people who want to be self-sufficient. They don't know how. Nobody's telling them, and the ones who should be telling them are the ones that are getting paid to help them. You know, and that's just from me canvassing, talking to individuals. They could do the same thing. Get people jobs, self-sufficient, off the program, and then help others do the same thing. So I'm hoping that you'll consider that before you hand out any more money. You know, let them show you what they could do with the money they had to the completion before they start another project. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, sir. Okay, Sheila Bell, followed by David Stanowski. Sheila Bell. Okay, David Stanowski, followed by Steve Schultz.
Good afternoon, Council. David Stanowski, President of the Galveston Open Government Project. The GHA planning process has been anything but methodical, consistent, and transparent since the hurricane. Steps are skipped, decisions are reversed, and federal laws are ignored. When tentative plans are analyzed and critiqued, the response is often that those plans have changed, so the comments are no longer valid. There seems to be a great deal of disagreement on this council as to your role in the GHA rebuilding process. It appears as though some council members believe that they can only pass judgment on the usual building standards, such as plumbing, electrical, and heating, while others think that their responsibility to review this plan includes its conformity to major federal laws such as floodplain regulations, site neighborhood standards, and of course the Fair Housing Act. Hopefully you can resolve these differences to provide the necessary oversight. Setting aside the more complicated issue of the Fair Housing Act for tonight's vote, I ask you to simply consider the fact that the GHA has not presented their required 8-part study to this council to justify why they should be allowed to build in a floodplain at much greater taxpayer expense when alternative sites are available on the mainland. Executive Order 11988 mandates the study be done. Their plans must also conform to the 50% rebuilding rule that is part of CFR 941.202. They still have not presented detailed plans verifying that they will not violate this rule in the 3 census tracts that were the former sites of Oleander Homes, Magnolia Homes, and Cedar Terrace. This means that they cannot build more than 98 public housing units in Census Tract 7240, the site of Oleander, 67 public housing units in Census Tract 7243, Magnolia, and 67 public housing units in Census Tract 7246, former site of Cedar Terrace. Based on the preliminary plans of their mixed income development, it's difficult to see how they intend to put less than about 200 public housing units in Census Tract 7243 and 200 in 7246, which is 3 times what's allowed under CFR 941.202. I'm sure the GHA will tell you that their final plans will somehow conform to these regulations, but I urge you not to give them any funding until they actually demonstrate that they're going to follow these rules. If you do not, a great deal of taxpayers' money may be wasted before someone eventually forces them to change their plans to conform to the rules. Thank you.
Thank you. Steve Schultz, followed by Jim Siegler.
He's running late.
Okay, we'll put him at the back of the stage. Jim. Jim, yeah, well, he'll forfeit. No, I'm kidding. Jim, followed by Benny Davis.
Good evening, Council.
Hello, sir.
Mayor. Again, speaking to item 13B on the $5 million asked for by Grace to continue on, I want to kind of reinforce a little bit what Frankie had said. I've got some photographs here for members of council that did not make it out to look at the Oaks.
Doug, can you get those from
yes.
Jim?
This just illustrates one of the unfinished properties that has not been touched by a construction crew essentially since November. I would ask the council to investigate specifically the status of the 7 homes that constitute the Oaks 4 and get a concrete, valid, documentable, sworn answer as to why those homes are stalled in construction. Council will note that Grace had surveyors come out the days following 2 Thursdays meeting ago, and they shot elevations on all the existing homes and did not shoot elevations on the 7 new construction homes, and it is those 7 homes which are nearly a foot lower than the homes that were already flooded by Ike. Okay, they took elevations on the wrong houses, y'all. Okay, as you can see by those photographs there, if you come out and look at that particular property, even if you got the logs out of the driveway, which that's just construction debris, but you look at the distance between the wall on the left and the patio and the bay window on the right, the only vehicle you're going to get down that driveway into that garage is a smart car or a motorcycle. You'll not get anything else in there. This illustrates what I spoke to 2 Thursdays ago about the lack of any qualified construction supervisory experience on staff at GHA. Whatever the construction contractor tells them, oh yes, I'm doing it right, they just sign off on with no qualified eyes on the topic. There's also one property in the Oaks 2 that's 809 West Live Oak Circle. It was built 3 years ago. It is still vacant. It is still unsold. That needs to be looking into why. There's a construction or an engineering deficiency of some kind. It remains unsold. The HOA is not benefiting on that as far as homeowners' dues. You're not benefiting from it from the tax rolls. Okay? Again, you've got maintenance type folks going out trying to solve engineering problems. That's just not going to cut it. These things have to be looked at. I mean, there's a little bit of a litmus test. Do you move on with allowing this entity to potentially squander tens of millions more dollars of the taxpayers' money without holding them accountable to what's already been spent and left languishing now? Okay? It remains to be seen. We do have, I give Mr. Dennis great credit, we've got the lights turned on in the Esplanade. He was on that, and that occurred, I think, the Tuesday after that meeting, and with all credit due to Mr. Dennis's efforts on that. I'm not taking away from his efforts, but good faith has to be met with good results. We're not real enthusiastic from the Oaks about coming down here. We've got a lot better things we'd like to be doing with our times, but we're not leaving. Okay? You're going to see us again and again and again. This is not going away. Okay? These things need to be taken care of and done right. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. Big Steve. It was on the workshop agenda. It wasn't. Well, it's tangentially on the agenda. They're 13A about the funding. And,
I just want to ask staff
you know.
about those questions, about are these built below grade? Do they have building inspections on these properties? If it's because it's government, do they come under that or not? But do we have inspections?
Why don't we? Well, I don't think the housing authority's here. Is there a way y'all can answer that, or do you need more time to answer that? Or
I mean, the city. This would be from the city side.
Yeah, the city. He's asking for the city.
I mean, it's a city. Did they?
Oh.
Is it?
So you're
Did they
asking the
inspect
city
it? Is it?
oh, I'm sorry. Never
Yeah,
mind.
no.
We're asking from the city's perspective.
Yes, the city's perspective.
Do city staff inspect housing authority Oaks homes like they do homes in any neighborhood?
They sure inspected all my county projects, so.
Yes, they do. And we have records of the previous projects. I've written down the comments that were made today, and I will look into the elevation issues as well
Excellent.
as the size of the driveways and other overall site issues as well. And
Yeah, let me
We'll
give you
review
the
all
photo.
the files.
Wendy, take
Here we
this
got some
photo here of
that'd be
this
great.
house.
Yes, absolutely. And I
Show
can
it
let
to the-
council know.
Jim, do you have the address on that one?
Not off the top of my head, but if you drive in from Broadway,
It's right there.
which is very first
You run right into it.
Let's give Jim.
If you're looking right at the Esplanade, it's the house to the immediate right.
Okay, does anyone want to give James Dennis one so that he has a copy?
They're right here. There's a bunch of them right here.
Okay.
Sure. And just in preparation for today's workshop discussion, we pulled the plat, and we've already started looking at all of the projects from the that are previous constructed and those that are under construction. So we'll continue to do that.
Excellent. Okay, Steve, you all right? Yeah. All right, Benny Davis, followed by Peggy Zahler.